What I'm doing today is using my steamer juicer to make some grape juice, which I'll eventually turn into jelly. And so I thought I'd bring you guys along with me today. I think you can see here, I think you can see that there's actually some juice getting ready to come out. The way that this works, I've done on the podcast I did a quick review of this, but basically you've got a reservoir pot here that holds your water. You bring this to a boil and it steams up through your collection pot. So this is the pot here that will collect the juice. It's got a spigot and that allows it to be poured out. The pot here is where your fruit sits, and it's basically like a big colander. So as it steams up, it'll steam out the juice, collects here, and then you can get it that way. It does give you a very pure form of the juice, so you're not going to have any pulp, any things like that. The main reason that I like to do it this way as opposed to maybe buying store-bought juice is at least I know where the juice comes from, and I can kind of control it, and I think I'll get eventually, number one, a healthier juice if I want to use it as just fruit juice, or in making jelly, I at least can control some of the steps. So I control and feel that I get a healthier jelly for me and for my family. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cut you guys off and maybe reposition the camera and show you as I take things apart kind of what it looks like inside and how it's going to look as stuff is kind of cooked down. Also, it takes about 40 minutes or so to get your fruit in there steamed down, especially with grapes. And I'll probably get maybe about 32 ounces or so, and then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and do the jelly and can that stuff up, and I'll film that stuff for you guys as well. Alright guys, let me tell you, this stuff is hot. There's a lot of steam, so you want to have an oven mitt or at least some towels. Be careful when you're taking this stuff off. Very, very hot. It's easy to get burned. So let me bring you up here. I'm on the iPhone. Hopefully it's not too shaky. Anyway, like I said, you can see how the thing is a big colander, and then your grapes are inside. I'm trying to hold it off back a little bit so we don't get the thing all steamed up, the camera steamed up here. But you can tell if you look, a lot of the grapes are shriveled. You can tell that they've split open. So these are pretty much done. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Let some of this stuff come out. It is very, very hot. You can actually see that steam coming out. And so this is the inside of the collection pot. And you can see we've still got quite a bit of juice. Alright guys, I had to cut you off there so I could get the rest of the juice out. Like I said, it is very, very, very hot, so you want to be extremely careful when you're transferring this stuff. You'll only be able to get out a certain amount using the hose, and then eventually what you're going to have to do is lift the pot off and then actually pour it into a separate container. I find that to be the most efficient way. I got about 4 cups, so about 32 ounces of juice, and that was from a yield of about 3 pounds of grapes that I bought at Sam's Club, and these are the Midnight Beauties, and like I said, it's about 3 pounds. While I've got this disassembled somewhat, you can see the reservoir pan here, and then right there is your cutout for the spigot for your collection pot, so it nestles down in there. Alright, I kind of got started a little bit without you guys. I've got the grape juice, which I added to 1/4 cup of lemon juice, and meanwhile I've also got outside on the grill, I've got my canning stuff out there, and I've got my jars that I'm going to bring to a boil for about 10 minutes, and that will sterilize them. And the reason I'm doing it outside on the grill is with the glass top stoves, the bigger the canning pot is actually bigger than the burner surface. And there's 2 things that they talk about that they don't recommend that you do. One, for the glass top stove, is you don't want that heat going on these other surfaces. Supposedly it can crack it. The other thing is, as the element cycles on and off, there's some concerns that it may not be able to maintain the high enough temperature when you're canning. So on the grill, I've got a separate burner and I'm able to actually go ahead and do my canning using the flame, so you'll get a good steady temperature that way. So the next thing I'll do is I will pour in the pectin, and what I like to use is the Sure Gel, and it is, as you can see, the 1.75 ounce. So that was our pectin, and again what we'll do is we'll let it sit in there for a minute, and then we'll come back and stir it and then bring it up to a boil. Once we bring it up and to a big rolling boil where it's really bubbling and popping in there, then we'll add in the sugar, which is going to be 4 1/2 cups of sugar. Alright, so now we've got a real nice rolling boil here, and what I'll do is I'll go ahead and add the sugar, and then I'll stir that back up to, again, another good rolling boil. Alright, so I've got the sugar in there, and we want to bring this again back to that good rolling boil, and you want to stir this constantly. Alright, so as you can hear, I've got the jelly jars in there. I forgot to film the ladling in the jelly into the little canning jars that I've got, but that's really not that big a deal. You basically just skim off the foam off the top and then ladle them in. Even if you left the foam that you're going to get, it wouldn't hurt you. It doesn't really affect taste or anything. So this will process for about 10 minutes, and then I'll take this, the whole thing back inside, and then I'll take them out, put them on a towel on the counter, and let them cool. If you wanted to, you could just ladle them into a jar. Let's say if you made a small amount, and then once it gels up, you could eat it. You could just stick it in the fridge, and it'd be good for 2 or 3 weeks probably. The canning process, what that does is it basically allows you to store it. It'll store for probably about a year. It's been at least 10 minutes or so, and I'll go ahead and cut the heat off and take them out and let them cool. I think we just missed a couple of little pings. Anyway, this is what it makes it nice to have a nice canner, or to basically just in anything to have the right tools for the job. It just makes everything go a lot easier. So what we'll do now is we'll transfer these guys out. I've got some towels set up on the counter, and did you hear that little ping? It's starting to suck down and seal. So we'll go ahead and bring those over. And again, hopefully the camera work isn't too shaky. Trying to concentrate on a couple of things here at once. So what we've got here is the 4, obviously, that I just canned. So these you could actually, as long as your seal is good, they've been processed in the canner, you could keep these probably, again, up to about a year. This one here is one that we're just going to sort of let set on its own. Once that cools, I'll just stick it right in the fridge, and it'll probably set up in a good 12 to 24 hours. This, as long as you kept it in the fridge, you could probably go, again, 2 to 3 weeks at least with that. And with these, as long as these guys have sealed, you should be good for about a year to have them on hand. So anyway, that was kind of my journey from juice to jelly. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave it in the comment section, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Alright guys, it's been a day or so, and here's the jelly that I made. Yeah, it's just like regular store-bought jelly. I got a couple of biscuits here that I'm gonna have as a snack. So it is a little bit lighter in color, but it spreads just like regular old jelly, and it tastes just as good or maybe better than store-bought.